A darker side, one whispered in alehouses. He was a smuggler, ferrying untaxed brandy and lace across Dartmoor under cover of night. In 1715, his luck ran out betrayed by a comrade for a handful of silver. He was seized by the local magistrate's men. The punishment was medieval in its cruelty. Elias was chained to the iron gate on Mill Lane, left to stand as a public warning for a fortnight, with naught but bread and water to sustain him. The townsfolk passed by, some with pity, others with scorn, but none dared free him. On the 10th night, a bitter frost swept through the moor, and Elias, weakened and shivering, breathed his last, his chains clinking softly in the wind as his life slipped away. His body was cut down and buried in an unmarked grave near the crossroads, but Elias's spirit found no rest. Within a year, tales began to spread of a figure at the Gaiterman, gaunt and hollow-cheeked, his wrists bound by spectral chains that glowed faintly in the moonlight. His tattered clothes flapped like moth wings, and his eyes, when glimpsed beneath his matted hair, seemed to plead for mercy or curse the living for their indifference. The chained ghost appeared only after dark, most often to those stumbling home from the White Hart Inn, their laughter turning to gasps as the gate loomed into view. "He's there again," they'd whisper, taking the longer route around the moor rather than face the mournful figure whose chains rattled like a dirge in the night air. For generations, the haunting cast a pall over Bovey Tracey. Mill Lane became a place to avoid after dusk, its gate a grim landmark in the town's folklore. Children dared each other to touch its bars on moonless nights, fleeing at the faintest creak, while their elders swapped tales of Elias's fate over pints of cider. In 1854, a curate from St. Peter's tried to lay the spirit to rest, sprinkling holy water and chanting psalms by candlelight. But the ghost returned the next night, his chains as unyielding as ever. Some claimed he sought vengeance on the town for its complicity. Others believed he was bound by the iron itself, unable to depart while the gate stood as a monument to his suffering. Time marched on, and Bovey Tracey grew into the 20th century, electric lights illuminating the high street, motorcars rumbling where carts once rolled. Mill Lane remained a quiet back road, its iron gate a relic of the past. But the chained ghost lingered, his appearances rarer but no less chilling. In the late 1980s, after a group of teenagers claimed they'd seen him materialize mid-lane, causing them to crash their bikes in a panic, the town council decided action was needed. The old gate, they reasoned, was the tether. Remove it, and Elias might finally find peace. In 1990, they replaced the rusted iron with a simple wooden style, smooth and sleek, with no bars or posts to which anything, mortal or spectral, could be chained. The old gate was dismantled and stored in the town archives, a curiosity for historians rather than an anchor for the dead. The effect was immediate. Mill Lane seemed to breathe easier, the oaks lining its path whispering relief in the evening breeze. The late-night walkers from the White Hart reported no more sightings of the chained man, and the air no longer carried the faint clink of phantom irons. The locals of Bovey Tracey were much happier, their shortcuts reclaimed, their nights free of dread. At the pub, where tales of Elias had once ended with shudders, they now ended with smiles, the stories softened by the new style's quiet triumph. Yet, on the darkest nights, when fog rolled thick off Dartmoor and the wind moaned through the lane, some swore they heard a distant rattler, faint echo of chains, too soft to fear, too stubborn to fade entirely into memory. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, follow, subscribe, and comment below.